Hello, it's day 132 of the Liberator project, and I've come out into my car just for a change of scenery because I've been making far too many videos in my kitchen, and not because I've been cooking, just because I've been standing there needing somewhere warm to stand and film. So it's still quite early, or it's still quite light, so I thought I'd come out in the car and just try and mix things up a bit. Well, little things might help the channel. Now, first of all, I'd like to say big hello to Darren Edwards and his girlfriend. Thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it, and I'm very happy to give you a shout out. And I'd like to give you them a shout out, but I'd like to say an absolutely huge thank you to Bobby Tate for his support of the channel. I really appreciate that. I mean, it's marvellous that you've done that, because it's a bit of a bad time for me, and that is absolutely so helpful. That will help me out so much at the moment. So I do really appreciate it. Thanks very much, and I hope that you find me entertaining and keep watching. Thank you very much. So yesterday I was talking about relationships I'd had. No, that was the day before, because I talked about Augie yesterday. Well, anyway, I'm going on from that because I've got a few days to talk about relationships, because I hope that the horror of the situation will amuse people. And I just told you I've been out with this Russian girl who was lovely, really nice, and yeah, I like her a lot. Still friends with her. That was no trouble at all. I just wasn't right for me, and I don't know what right for me is, but in hindsight, who knows. But I'll talk about the possibly the biggest mistake in my dating history. Maybe not, because the girl from Estonia definitely wasted more years of my life, but this is a pretty terrible relationship I'm going to tell you about now. And bear in mind, there's sort of two sides to every relationship, so I'm sure she has a very different impression about things. I can only tell you things from my perspective, and why I was so horrified by the relationship with at the time, and with hindsight. So but she was a professional dominatrix, and a few of my friends did tell me there were red flags. So today I'd like to talk for, I don't know, a little bit about how we met and how we started going out. Now, she was part of the English aristocracy. She had a title, but she had no money. Just had the title, but she had a real sense of entitlement to money. But sadly didn't own anything. Now, she's very outgoing. Well, no, that's a bit of an understatement, really. I mean, she was a dominatrix, but yes, quite an outgoing, interesting character. Now, I met her at a party. She was spanking someone, and then later on the party, she did a demonstration of how to use a riding crop correctly. So naturally, I thought, well, she's an interesting character. I've got to go and talk to her. And we got talking, and I found her very interesting. She was pretty articulate and intelligent, but quite a confident, interesting person. And I thought, well, that was surprising, because I didn't expect her to be like that. She was quite quietly spoken when she wasn't in her acting mode as a dom. So we got on quite well. We talked, and that was that. Now, when I broke up with the lovely, wonderful Russian woman, oh god, a mutual friend of mine, I'd met up with her for a drink. This is a friend who was a singer in my band at one point. I've been good friends for years, and she told me that she was single and gave me her phone number and said, "Why don't you give her a ring?" And I thought, why not? She was good company. That will be fine. That'll be good. I'd enjoy doing that. So I gave her a ring, got talking to her, and we arranged to go out for a drink. Now, I must have been mad, but I just thought, well, this will be fun. This will be a nice night out. It'd be nice to talk to someone. And I remembered talking to her at the party and thought she was really nice, very interesting. So we went out, and I was really impressed because when it came to like going to the bar, she insisted on buying the drinks. Now that was, you know, I was very impressed with that. She went to the bar and she was confident and bought a round of drinks, and I thought, well, that's good. I mean, I do like, you know, strong, confident women, and yeah, she seemed to be really fair. And you know, we went out for a meal, and again, she insisted on paying half away. Now that's very impressive, because a lot of women claim to be feminists and they want to be strong, independent women, but when it comes to the bill, they always want the guy to pay everything, and that's really unfair. You know, it's you can't have it both ways. You can't be equal to men and everything's the same as men, apart from the paying, when a guy's still got to do it. And but anyway, I was very impressed. I mean, that is an impressive thing, after, you know, going out with on several dates, you know, to someone that was actually, you know, expected to pay their own way. That impressed me a great deal. And you know, she was a strong, confident person, and yeah, we got on. We had a very nice time. And then over the meal, you know, at the end of the meal, we got this big trifle in this pub, and it was a great heap of cream and custard. And for a joke, I went to flick something at her, and she dared me. She goes, "You wouldn't dare, you know, flick any custard at me." Well, that's you know, I'm not gonna bottle out. I'm not gonna wimp out from a challenge like that. So so yes, I flicked some cream at her, and then she threw some back, and it escalated into like a full-blown food fight. And you know, and these were big bowls of custard, you know, cream and everything, and I mean, absolutely covered. I mean, it was just dripping down my face. I had to scrape the cream out my eyes. And anyway, the the waitress come over and said, "Is everything okay?" And I was like, "Yes, everything's fine, please. You know, we'd like the bill." And took complete notice the fact we're both dripping keen. We're both sat upright, you know, completely calm and completely deadpan, ignoring it. And she's like looking at us, and I said, "Oh, could I have a napkin? I think I might have spilt something." And she went off to the kitchen, and then I heard this howling laughter from the kitchen. And obviously she'd, you know, composed herself and came back, and I said, "Oh, you know, give me the napkin." I said, "Oh, thank you very much." And I cleaned up a tiny little spot on the tablecloth and gave her the napkin back. I went, "Thanks, that's fine now." And again, she rushed off to the kitchen to laugh. And you know, I was come around a bit. Yeah, I was sort of very impressed. You know, it was a fun date, and you know, it was a nice time. And you know, what do they say? You've got to find someone who's, you know, demons play well with yours. And yeah, we're, you know, a lot of fun, the same sort of sense of humour, and she seemed really nice. She seemed really considerate, and she was, you know, very gentle and normal with me. And she did say how much, you know, she, you know, that she didn't, you know, the fetish scene depressed her a bit in some ways, and you know, but in other ways it was very beneficial to her. Now she had, you know, let's put this bluntly, she had slaves, and these were guys that would run around and you know, do everything for her if she wanted, and but also she earned quite a lot of money as, you know, as this career. Now her main job was she was an IT troubleshooter for a big hotel chain, and that was good, because the money wasn't so bad on that, but also it meant she got special discounts or even free hotels. So we, you know, we could go away and do all sorts of things around the country. That was lovely. You know, you get quite a decent hotel somewhere for free or next to nothing, and of course, because people she'd helped them out, they were really friendly and gave loads of free stuff, and it was really nice. I mean, I love going away for weekends and doing things like that. So we went, you know, quite a few places around the country, and had a good time. But sadly, she hated her job, and she couldn't, you know, she wanted to give it up. I'll get onto that later. But as a dominatrix, she earned, you know, very good money. She had one client, and I've got to say that dominatrix stuff is not about sex. There's no touching. I mean, these guys would not dream of touching, you know, their mistress. because that's not how it works. You know, they are there to serve. They're submissive, and they want to, you know, to be slaves and do what she says. So, oh well, okay. You know, it's like, I'm a practical sort of guy, and if some guy wants to help out your girlfriend for free or do things, you think, okay, you know, it's, you know, as long as there's nothing untoward going on, that's you know, that's not a big issue for me, to be honest. You know, I can I'm not a jealous type, you know, as long as nothing's going on. You know, I you know, I trust her, and yeah, I didn't have a bigger problem as I think a lot of people would. Not saying it wasn't a problem, but just not a major problem. And anyway, she had one guy that was a solicitor, very, very high powered solicitor, and he wanted to be a dog. So I'm not joking. So basically, he came to stay, or no, they went to a hotel, and then she made him sleep in a basket and dress up as a dog, and then she put a leash on him and dragged him round, I think it was Kensington High Street, and took him to the park and fed him out of a bowl, and basically treated him like a dog for a day or so. And for that, you know, he paid her £3,000. Now, you know, my God, for that much, I would quite happily treat some bloke like a dog. You know, it's like, yes. So that's the sort of thing involved. Now, one of her friends was, she was, well, you know, she actually was dominatrix to the Prime Minister at the time, apparently. Now, you never know if these things are true or not, but apparently a lot of people that are into this are sort of rich, powerful guys who get their own way all the time, and they feel perhaps a bit guilty, they don't deserve it, or, you know, or things are too easy. They need to be sort of, they need to feel they're actually serving. So that's why a lot of people that were into this thing were very, you know, very well off, very powerful people, company directors, you know, very rich and powerful men who, you know, for relaxation needed to feel they served someone, and, well, in some cases pretend to be a dog for a day and a half. So, you know, I don't think it's well, I don't think it's healthy. You know, that's up to them. I don't, you know, it's sort of, I'm not going to judge other people. You know, I mean, I'm sure there's things I like that other people don't like. Well, or Gary Newman music for one thing, but you know, it's each their own. If you're not hurting anyone else, and you know, it's, if you're honest, doesn't hurt anyone else, and you know, consenting adults, that's, you know, that's okay. So, you know, I say I'm not a particularly jealous person. You know, you either trust your partner or you don't, and yes, it's a bit weird, but, you know, on the plus side, you know, if her job involves, you know, going away for the weekend, treating a guy like a dog, and getting him to fetch sticks, and you know, taking him for a walk on a leash, okay. I think of it as an acting job. I mean, I'd do it. I mean, I've never been paid that much for my acting work. I think the most I've ever been paid is a couple of £100, but, you know, £3,000 for that, yeah, I'd do it. I don't see the I don't see the problem. But anyway, that was sort of how we met and sort of started going out, and yeah, it was, yeah, again, small steps. Everything seems to make sense at the time, and there were red flags. You know, there were red flags when I met her at the party, but you know, it's like nothing that I couldn't handle, and you know, it actually wasn't the dominatrix stuff that was the problem in the end. But what we'll do is, I've talked for about 15 minutes. I will do this, well, when it's getting a bit dark. It doesn't look it on the camera, but it's getting quite dark. I will carry on with this story when I get back into the kitchen. And what I might do is, this is just about relationships, this chat. I might actually tell you what it's like going to a fetish club when you're the partner of one of the principal dominatrix, because you get treated very well. Oh, right. Yeah, it's, you know, again, I mean, if I start protesting and say I'm not into the fetish scene, no one's going to believe me. You know, the more you protest, the more guilty you look. But I'd tell you if I was into this stuff, and I'm really not. But obviously, because of my past, I road crewed on a fetish tour, and you know, the Irish lass, was all getting into this sort of stuff, and then of course going out with a dominatrix. It's I've obviously had quite a bit of exposure to the scene, and you know, it's I like gotha clubs, but you know, I talk about what happens in a private fetish party and what happens in a private fetish club at some point in the future. Let's get the relationships out of the way, and I'll come back to it. Anyway, I hope you found that interesting today. I'll speak to you later and finish off this story. Bye.